Hey student organization leaders, I am creating for you a tutorial on how to schedule rooms in EMS. As you all know, every activity that you do this coming semester, whether it be on campus or off campus, requires you to have approval through the university facilities office before you hold that event, activity, meeting, etc. Some of you have reached out with questions about exactly how does EMS work. So I'm going to do my best to show you today. So we're going to start with just getting to EMS. You can obviously go directly there if you've got the URL, which I'll pop up now. But also I want to show you where there's a quick and easy link that you can always find no matter what device you're on, and that's on P-Link. So here we are on P-Link, logged in. We're going to scroll down on the home screen to the campus links section over here on the right. And if you click room reservations, that's going to bring up EMS and it's going to bring up the login section. So now this is where if you are a brand new president, you will need to create your account first. Once you have created your account, you'll remember from the email that I sent you that you will need to reach out to the facilities office and ask them to assign your customer. And then you will give them the name of your student organization so that they can connect your profile to that organization. If you're already in the system or once that's completed, you're just going to sign in right here with your user ID and password, which is the same as your one-stop user ID and password. It needs to match. Once you are logged in, you're going to be on this page that at the top says My Reservation Templates. And this is where you're going to see you have the option to request to have an event off campus or request to have an event, program, or meeting. The second one, request to have an event, program, or meeting, means on campus. So that's where you're going to be looking for a space. So if you are doing anything off campus, you would start that template by clicking Book Now, and you would answer the questions about your program. Again, keep in mind, you must have the event not only in the system, but receive approval before the event begins. And then you must track attendance, regardless of where it's being held. So we're going to get into how to look for space on campus. You're going to start by clicking Book Now on that second template. And this is going to get you into the system. So you're going to start with over here, you're going to choose the date of your program. So we're going to look in September, Monday the 14th. Now, if this is a one-time event, you can move on from there, but I quickly want to show you how to do a series. So this would be, for example, your regular student organization meeting, let's say, same day of the week, same time. So your first option's in the drop-down, if it's a weekly meeting, a monthly meeting, and then you also have random, meaning that it's, maybe even different days of the week. And so if it's weekly, you click that, and then right here you can choose if it's every week, or as we have suggested that our organizations consider not meeting in person every week and utilizing Zoom every other week for a virtual meeting, maybe you just need a space for every other week. And so you would change that to 2, and you would choose your day of the week. And then you would come down here, there we go. You would come down here, your start date is the date that you initially put in. You can either do an end date or you can do an end after a number of occurrences, so a number of meetings that you're having. If you know that this is for the entire semester, the end date is probably going to be your best bet because you know that all of your activities need to end the week of Thanksgiving, which is this week right here. So you could pop in the Monday, the 23rd, and then it's going to right there calculate for you. That's 6 meetings that you're holding if you're holding them every other week. So what we have is weekly, every other week on Monday through the week of Thanksgiving. That's 6 occurrences. And then you've got your time right here, and you would click Apply Recurrence to have the form look for availability on every single one of those days. Now, the other one that I want to show you is random. Random is extremely useful if your organization has a series of activities that are all the same. I'm going to use the example, our faith-based organizations that have a Bible study, but maybe Bible study moves around to different days of the week. So potentially you could start on a Tuesday, and then the next week it moves to Thursday, and then the next week it goes back to Tuesday. And you can see how you can select simply by clicking on the day on the calendar, random dates. Now the thing that you cannot change, they all have to be the same time in order for this recurrence to work. But if it is something where it bumps around different days of the week, but at the same time, you can add that recurrence in. I'm going to close this without adding it to our reservation, just to keep our reservation simple as we move through the process. So again, the date that I have is just one day, September 14th. I have a start time of 2 p.m. I have an end time of 3 p.m. To adjust those, you click on the little clock if you need to. Let's say we wanted it to go to 3:30 p.m. and then click the X and it'll save that for you. Central time, obviously. Now right here for locations, it has defaulted to just give me the university center. If I wanted to add additional spaces throughout campus, I could select all buildings. Right now, because of our situation with COVID and use of spaces, there are not as many options as there were last year. Spaces have not been made available to us because they are specifically restricted for classroom use. So you will see that there is a smaller list of campus buildings than what actually exists, but this is what is available to you. So you would then click Update Locations. The next thing that you're going to do, again over here on the left, is you're going to use this little drop down here under Let Me Search for a Room, and you need to put in the number of people that you are searching for a space for. So if it's a small gathering, maybe it's an executive board meeting of 8 people, you would put that there. This is a required part of the form in order for it to load all of the spaces available to you. And you would click Search. That's now going to update this center field for you to show you what's available. So what you're seeing in the center here across the top are the times. The red lines that are going down, this is the block of time that you have requested over in this section over here on the left. So 2 o'clock, to 3:30. On this side going down, you're seeing the rooms that are available. And what is grayed out on here, these are the reservations that are already in the system, and you'll see that most of them are classes during this time in these buildings. So what you're looking for is an open space like this one right here. So the capacity right here is going to tell you how many people fit in that room. Now, within the academic buildings, that capacity has not been adjusted yet in EMS. And so you will need to primarily look at the university center. If you have a larger group than say 10, you'll want to look over here. The university center numbers have been updated. So on this day, if I need a room for 8 people, you can see there's a booking here and there's a booking here, but these are the spaces that are available to me. So 308, which has a capacity of 9, is actually perfect for me. In order to help everyone and to collectively use our spaces, you do want to only request rooms that are necessary. So since I have 8 people that need to meet, I don't want to take up a room that can actually seat 24 because that takes it off availability for someone that may have more people that need to meet. So in other words, you want to be a little bit thoughtful and you want to make sure that you're sharing space with each other well. So you're going to look for a room that will suit your needs without exceeding it too far if possible. If you need to see some information about the room itself, you can click the blue name of the room and it's going to bring up a little bit of information about it in case you were unsure of its location, like what floor it was on, that sort of thing. For the UC, you can even see images. Now these images are of course how it was set up last year, not currently for COVID. But maybe you just needed to refresh your memory about what that room was. To add it to your reservation, you're going to click the green plus sign next to the name of the room. And then you're going to get this little blue bar that comes across the top quickly to let you know it's been added to the reservation. From here, you need to go back up to the top of your page. So if you're working on your phone or on a tablet, you're going to be doing a lot of scrolling to get back up to the top. So now you can see right here, it's showing us selected rooms, because you can have more than one room selected in a reservation. There's this minus sign if you, let's say, accidentally clicked the wrong room, or you changed your mind and you wanted to go back and keep searching, you could click that to get rid of it. But if you know that this is the room that you want, you simply click Next Step. Now this section is the services section, where you can add in additional items that you might need from the facilities office. So as we all know, in the UC, there's already computers, projectors, screens, etc. And so you probably don't need to request anything additional in terms of AV in those rooms, since they're all fully capable. But maybe you need something from the miscellaneous section, such as waste baskets. If you're doing a hands-on crafty item and you want, a couple extra waste baskets, or maybe you need an easel if you're bringing in some sort of presentation. Let's say we are going to have a flip chart and we want to put it on an easel. And so you would click it, and then it tells you right here that the facilities office has an inventory of 15 available. So that means we could add up to 15. We only need one. And then special instructions, we'll just say, please place at front of room. And then click OK. That's going to add that easel to your reservation. Same thing, and you can just minimize that again. Tables, chairs, services or personnel. This is where if you need a technical assistant from the facilities office to potentially run sound for you or something like that. Keep in mind that that does include a cost with it. If you need to have someone in the space with you, you would be paying for their services. But if you've got everything you need, again, you're going to go back up to the top of the page and you're going to click Next Step. Now you're into the part where you're going to answer a lot of questions. So the first thing is the name of the event. Then you're going to give it a type, and you're going to choose the thing that best describes what you're doing. So for what I'm doing, I'm going to choose Event, Meal, Program, Ceremony. Here's the customer box. And so on the drop down, you're seeing my customers, because I'm the advisor to 2 organizations, and then there's my campus department. This is where the name of your student organization should show up. If you get this far into the process and you click that drop down and there's nothing there, or the organization that you need is not there, that means that your customer was not assigned, and you need to contact the facilities office and request them to assign your customer and provide them the name of the student organization that you should be connected to. If there's multiple people on that customer, you may need to change the contact. If you'll notice, Dean Phelps has popped up because he's our primary contact for our department. So I'm going to change it to myself. And then in here, the phone number should pop in from your profile, but if it doesn't, you'll notice that there's an asterisk, meaning that it is required. I've listed my campus extension, of course. You should put your full cell phone number there. Same thing with your email address. That should be your campus email address. And then you're going to scroll down, and you're going to start answering questions about your event. So does your event have some risk involved for the participants? So this means a physical liability risk. If you're playing, a sport, or if you are, throwing darts, let's say. How will you pay for any charges? For our student organizations, your options to choose are cash or check or credit card. A FOAP, FOAP is what campus departments utilize to pay for services on campus. So you can choose cash or check or credit card. Will this event be listed on P-Link? Keep in mind it is a requirement this semester that your events all be listed on P-Link, because you are required to use P-Link to track attendance. So that answer should be a yes. Then you're asked about food at your event, keeping in mind the Chartwell's requirements of using the ballroom, the Irish room, and the Forterra club level. And so you'll just provide the answer of no, you will not, bringing your own, or Chartwell's. Bringing your own means if you're in one of the rooms that does not require Chartwell's, and you're going to either bring in snacks or have a caterer or something like that. So we're going to say no, we will not. Again, you're going to be confirming how many people you are expecting. And so we're going to make sure that that matches the original number that we put in. There's a note here to please keep a list of attendees. Again, you're going to be required to track attendance through P-Link. And so that's how your list is going to be maintained. You don't have to worry about this statement of maintain the list for at least 2 months because it's going to live in the P-Link system and we'll have access to it as long as we need to. So for here, tell us how you will be tracking and maintaining a record of attendees. For our student organizations, all you have to do is type in P-Link, you could say scanning app. Sorry, I can't type and talk at the same time. P-Link scanning app is all you need to type in there. Describe in detail your event. So this is where you're going to put in exactly what you're doing. Okay, so I've added in training workshop on leadership skills. We'll have a guest speaker and individuals completing goal setting activities. So the next one is please describe your event in detail. This is what is displayed on the master calendar about your event. So the difference here is this is what's actually happening in the room to let facilities know so that they can review it for COVID guidelines. This is what you're going to tell other people about your event. So this would be kind of the promotional statement about what this event is. So here I've added open workshop for leadership development on goal setting through the GovsLead program. The next box is a COVID-related question. Describe in detail your plans to protect staff and guests, include social distancing plans. So this is where you're going to put the steps that you are going to take to ensure that everyone is safe. So for this, I've added masks will be worn by all attendees, hand sanitizers at the entrance, health screening at the entrance, all individuals will be kept 6 feet apart, no shared tools or items will be used. So here you're answering, will attendees and or staff of the event be required to answer health screening questions or have their, and it's cut off, what's meant to be there is temperature checked before entering. If anyone's been to the foyer recently, before you go in, they're checking temperatures. That's what it's asking. And so you can answer yes. If you answer no, it would be wise to put an explanation as to why you're not having health screening or temperature checks done, because that may be a follow-up question that the facilities office will contact you about. The next question is, will all attendees be able to maintain social distancing at your event? You should give this some real thought and make sure that you're answering honestly. If there is an aspect of your event where you are asking individuals to become closer than 6 feet from each other, you want to put that in there. Make sure that you're giving the facilities office all of the details. Will there be minors at your event, so children under the age of 18, how will they be supervised? You can say, if you're allowing children to come and let's say they're just at the parents' supervision, you can say, yes, the parents will be supervising. That's perfectly fine. Are you taking or collecting any money at your event? That could be anything from dues to if you're doing an actual fundraiser. And so you would just answer that question. Will wearing face masks be mandatory for all attendees? So this question is confirming that you understand that masks are required in all APSU buildings at all times. This same list of questions is used if you select a location that is outside. And so as you all know, buildings on campus, masks are required. The outdoors on campus, masks are recommended if you cannot maintain 6 feet of distance between each other, but they are also being required for events and activities that are taking place outside because you will be speaking to individuals, potentially handing things out to individuals. And so, of course, you're going to see at events and activities, masks are required even when we're outside. And as student organizations, if you're hosting something outside, that is something you should also be considering. Added notes or comments is just a space for you to add in anything additional that you think would be helpful for the facilities office to know. But notice that it does require an answer here with this asterisk. And so if you don't have anything, you can just type the word none or NA. Your next question is, please describe in detail any additional plans you have to help reduce the spread of COVID-19 and protect your attendees at your event. So if you're doing something special, so for this, I'm going to add in each individual participant is going to receive a packet of supplies. So rather than having a pile that everyone has to come and grab from, I'm going to make sure that all those supplies are packaged up and already waiting for them at their seat. Any of those thoughtful things that you've come up with, you can certainly add that there. Now, as you scroll down towards the bottom, you'll notice on my screen that FOAP is required with the asterisk, and my FOAP, my campus department FOAP, is already entered. Because student organizations do not have a FOAP, in this box, you're simply going to write what you chose before. So cash or check or credit card. You're going to type that in the box here. And then you have to click that you have read and agreed to the terms and conditions, which is, of course, is a live link, and you should read the terms and conditions before you follow through with requesting space on campus. From here, you're going to click Create Reservation. And so this is thinking for a second. What's going to happen now is it's going into the system as a request, and you get this lovely pop-up message that tells you that you're asked to review all of the COVID-19 guidelines, and then that this is only a request. You're going to immediately, within a minute or so, I've already gotten mine, you're going to receive an email confirming that a request has been entered. This is only confirming that the form has gone through. It is not your approval. You will receive additional communication from the facilities office with either questions that you have to answer, your approval, or, in some extreme cases, possibly even a denial or a declined request. And so you can see that just popped through there. And so we're just going to click OK, and we're done. We're done now, and we've made a request through EMS, and now we're just going to wait until we get our approval.